Hello everybody, the name is Larry Jr. and I am here with one of the rising artists who is already gonna be making two huge rounds tonight and tomorrow at the ROOM202 EP tour with Knock2, that is Long Story Short. I am honored and blessed to have finally met you at long last, and let me tell you right here and now, thank you so much for all your incredible music ever since 2019 to your recent melodic EP, based EP pretty much with Her, and that's absolutely freaking incredible too. And I just want to tell you, I know that the journey of Long Story Short was not an easy one. Like, it literally kind of like began right around when this world shut down thanks to COVID-19. But you bounced back and you finally had your first few shows. I still can't believe why you had your very first show ever in Brooklyn in July 2021. It kind of surprised me a bit because someone like you with such incredible talent and such incredible EP so far, I'm like, why hasn't this blown up any sooner? But I'm curious to know this first things first. Why the name Long Story Short?
Because it's a long story, man, and I think you can get a hint if you listen to my music that it's more than music. You know, I put my heart into a lot of what I do, whether it's just performing, producing, and I know every artist says that, you know, but the reality is that I really, like, a lot of the songs do relate to my life. Redemption EP has a lot to do with, it's very much my relationship, about my relationship with music and life. It's about the ups and downs I went through as like an artist, trying to find my way as an artist, you know. So I appreciate all the kind words, by the way. That was you did your research, homie.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So here's the thing though, since it seems like more of your music that it relates to your life, like you mentioned the Redemption EP, but does that mean that the work that you did in the past before, like we're talking like Back to the Start, Very Sweet Revelation, heck, even Warfare Chapter 1, are we still gonna remember those songs, or those songs maybe played in this set, or no?
To be honest with you, I was in a different stage of my life then, and I love those records, and I still sometimes support, you know, and I want to play them, but I think I really found myself about 2 years in. I just started producing bass records. When you heard those EPs, I just started producing bass. You know,
was also the mask phase?
Yes, I was in a different place in my life, to be honest with you, a very different place. You know, now I'm out there trying to be a little bit more out there, a lot more out there than I used to be quite frank. But to be honest, the songs are a deep part of me, but I think I was trying to experiment a lot. And now I think on this stage of my career, I had to tell my story a little bit more fluently. And I think as my skill level, on a raw skill level, I had to get my skills up to make records that were gonna work in the club. My challenge was trying to make stuff that's gonna work in a performance setting, but also keep that vibe. So those things were like the kind of like the beta tests. When we were out of the clubs, nobody was going to parties, nobody was dancing. That was what I was working on. Then when stuff started coming back, I wanted to be a part of that stuff and be performing more. So some of those records are a little bit more in the middle ground, where it's like they can work in a nightclub, but they're still very dark and very full of meaning, which is the constant challenge. I think it's one thing to make a record that's very straightforward and does one thing, but for me, I'm trying to put emotion in everything I do.
That's amazing to hear. So, but some tells me we're not going to get a chapter 2, are we?
We will eventually.
We will.
Yeah, we will eventually. There's no closed chapters. Redemption should have been called Chapter 2, but I kind of was so proud, because I took a year to make it. I was so proud of what it became. I just wanted it to stand on its own. It kind of should have been a Chapter 2, to be quite honest with you, but I just didn't want to title it that, because I was like, you know, I don't want people to even, I just wanted it to be its own thing. You know,
Understood.
But it could have been a Chapter 2, technically.
It could have, because
like
it's the next page in your journey.
Correct, yes, correct.
So speaking of like, so here's the thing I kind of wonder, maybe you already explained this more like through social media, through your story, so why, like, say you want to be more open, and what made you, like, you know, want to wear the mask, and now what makes you want to take it off?
I was at a place where I just finished with another project a couple years prior to that, and I was making totally different music that was completely unrelated to the scene that we're both involved in now.
Really? How long have you been producing?
I've been messing with music since I was a child, you know, so I've been making music since I was a kid, but I don't think I found my stride as an artist because I was always hiding behind other shit, you know, and back then I was making stuff that I was like, it wasn't novelty music by any means. I took it super seriously and I toured with it and I did well, and I don't really talk about it very much because it's such a different thing. But then, like, I went through shit in my life that made me realize that, like, you know what, for me to do this, am I gonna be happy if I quit music and COVID hits? You know, when COVID hit, it was like, am I gonna be happy closing the book and being like, okay, go get your regular job, go do normal life, and just give up on all this? You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was about going back and saying, and that's why it's called redemption, is because I gotta go back and redeem myself for me. It's not about proving myself to other people necessarily, but it's more about like, can I make a body of work that's gonna really stand tall? Am I gonna listen to this in 10 years and be like, I'm happy I made that?
So is that the reason why, like, I'll say like in track 2, and even track 7, when we hear those messages, they were less than pleasant. I don't know if that was like
they were not very. Yeah.
Was that like taking it from a film or something, or was that like actual people telling you that you were not gonna make it? You're not gonna amount to nothing.
That's real shit. That's real shit. You know, there was a point in time where I wasn't 100% with myself, and like the people around me weren't 100% perfect for me. I had to change everything up. So when I did the mask thing, it was kind of a correlation to like, I want to hide and start over from the rest of the world. So there's a lot of deep meaning in it that I haven't really felt like got out there, and I'm learning as I go on how to express myself as an artist better. But I think, there's a lot of that's some real shit, homie.
So at this point right now, how do you feel when it comes to your journey so far, and do you really feel like you are still climbing that mountain to get to where you want to go?
Yeah, I got a long way to go, brother. I got a long way to go. I'm not.
Do you feel more fulfilled?
I'm much happier.
That's what I'm trying to say.
That's why I'm out there. I'm out there like to be me, because I'm proud of who I am now, and I'm proud of who I was. When I was wearing that mask, I was a little insecure. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't scared of getting on stage or anything like that, but it was just more about, let me be fresh. Let it just be about the music. Let me just put what I really want to put out, and not stress about everything else. You know what I'm saying? And just do this, and no preconceptions, no worries about who I am. There's COVID. Who cares what I look like? You know what I mean? You're not really in that space where you're gonna see me. So what difference does it make?
Right.
And it changed over time, because now I'm proud of where we're at. And it's not that I wasn't proud before, but I just feel more comfortable and secure with what I've become as an artist. And I still got a long way to go in learning how to express myself. And I'm working on it every day. I'm challenging myself. How can I make songs that bang in a club, but also have something you can take home with you?
That's amazing to hear, and thank you so much for the amazing story. And you definitely are a pioneer, a modern-day pioneer in the EDM scene, and we all truly appreciate you. I mean, it's not just me who appreciates you. I mean, for someone that's, not Night Mode, Jericho, Tucker, and everyone else in Rare Breed and Browns and Lemonade are seeing the power and the passion within you. So people out there are hearing your story, understanding your story, really feeling your story, and we're all out there rooting for you. I mean, come on. I'm not talking about just like this like tour of ROOM202 EP, but I'm also talking about a few other achievements as well. Like, first of all, that's kind of surprised me is he was in HARDFest, Corona stage, and a few other amazing festivals like EDC Las Vegas. Like, did you think that those type of accomplishments, do you think you would ever like reach the type of stage in your career that early?
I had big dreams, I'm not gonna lie, when I started making music, but it felt so difficult to get there. It felt so tough to make it to that place, and it felt unreachable. And at that time in my industry, I started with zero. And I didn't tell my friends. When I put the mask on, I just put the shit out there. And I was just on SoundCloud putting it out, not really expecting anything. I was doing it for my therapy. It was my therapy at that time. No expectations. When people play the records, I was like, oh, that's cool, but wasn't expecting that. So it's, there's a part of me, yes, I have big dreams, I have big aspirations, but at the same time, I'm so happy. I'm just happy to be here, man.
Are there any people that like, any artists that like inspired you to want to make this sound? Because it seems like there are a lot of people who I hear, and I hear in the music that like, I can compare this like other artists, but I know it's still you, but any artists that kind of inspire you?
I love what these young kids are doing, Knock, and I'm so happy you had me here tonight. I love Knock, I love ISO. A lot of my sound is actually coming from like Burial and stuff like that. Like, I'm very inspired by those records. Those are the records that I found when those came out when I was younger, especially Archangel, and that was like the record that made me realize that like, hey, I can fuse. How do I fuse this with like the shit that I like that's harder, like bass? And I know a lot of people are doing that now. It's kind of funny that the wave is kind of coming. Like, that Skrillex album is very inspired by those sounds, which is cool, because I think the scene is moving in that direction. So I think sometimes we're on like a collective consciousness where the whole world is moving towards a certain direction in different ways, and that's my take on it. So I'm inspired by the young kids, my Burial, obviously Skrillex, Noisia are my favorite producers in the world. Life, just in general, man. I write about what I go through, you know what I mean?
That is amazing to hear. And here's the thing I wonder now. So I'm surprised one of those artists you mentioned that inspired you was Wax Motif.
Oh man, Wax is my dog, bro.
I mean, come on, like literally that was a song you said that changed your life on the low, over 5 million streams. How did that come to be?
We're almost at 10 million right now or some shit. It's crazy. It's happening very fast. Me and Wax met shortly, actually here at Avant Gardner, very shortly. I sent him music. We worked on the low together. It came out, and he told me, he's like, yo, bro, it's gonna blow, And I was like, kind of like, yo, that's crazy, but I'm also like, yo, I'll see what I believe in, man, because I sometimes doubt myself, as any artist does. And then he put that shit out, and he was such a good dude. Like, now me and him are very tight. He's helped me a lot with a lot of my like growth along the way, just on some homie shit. Like, he's the guy I can call when I'm like, yo man, I'm having a rough day. How do I get over this lump? You know what I mean, in my head. And he's always there for me, which is grateful. So he's like a big brother to me right now. And he's more than inspiration. He's like my big bro right now. So I really, really got a lot of love for Wax. Changed my life.
Amazing. And now I have to ask this: like, are there any artists that you wish you could collaborate with in the future? I mean, we have Wax Motif, maybe to Chami next.
Oh, dude, that'd be a dream. Yeah, I love Chami. I love, dude. To be honest with you, I'm just happy to be a part of it. You know what I mean? I love so much of this shit. It's like, you know, it's like sports, man. It's so much fun to be a part and watch it. And I'm a fan of all the players. You know, Chami would be amazing. That would be a dream come true. I got to meet him really shortly. So On the Low came out, and at Ultra we were there, and it was right. We were gonna debut the record at Ultra, and that's probably, you've probably seen the picture of me and Wax on stage. And yeah, Chami played it that day, and that's when I got to meet him. We got 2 minutes. All right, cool.
2 minutes.
Okay, so since we're kind of running long time,
I got a DJ. I got a DJ in a little bit.
This is the question now, which is, what is next for Long Story Short? I mean, 4 years in, brand new chapter. What's next?
We're just putting out music, man. Just putting out music, constantly putting out music. Trying to be out there a little bit more, trying to take the shows to a high level in terms of DJ skill and stuff like that. I've been coming out a little bit more on some DJ shit lately and trying to elevate the performances. And it's really just music. I can't say a lot, but there's going to be a lot of music this year. So
will there possibly be a headline show for Long Story Short?
That is a possibility very soon. Nothing's set in stone yet, but that is a strong possibility. Things are moving very fast right now, so we're just kind of, it's just like football, man. We're just playing every play as it goes, you know, and hoping to make the best scores.
And I wish you the best of luck on your journey, man. Thank you so much for the little talk, Long Story Short. And thank you guys so much for watching as well. ROOM202, everything's sold out, but just keep watching the IGs, everything, because this man here is next in line to be the next pioneer when it comes to the EM scene. So is Knock2, Brian Lemonade. We love you all so much. We appreciate you so much. But I gotta get back and see the show, man. This is Lord Jr. signing out. I love you all so much. Peace.
My man, let's go.